playoffs as a competitor.
Yeah, these days always suck. No matter what time of year we do end. Coming in here, obviously with disappointment and then having to say goodbye to everybody, it's always tough to.
With some time to digest now, just general thoughts on the season before I guess we get into some more specifics.
Yeah, it's a disappointing year, obviously, after what we did last year and having all the expectations that we did. I think that, in a way, I think we're trying to take the positives out of things. Then we had a long summer to try to fix everything. And individually, guys can go home and do whatever they can to work on their game for, unfortunately, a long time. So come back ready to go in September. And, as far as everything else goes, I think that there's things that we need to figure out to make sure that we're 100% ready whenever September does come around.
And as far as figuring things out, as far as what went wrong, are there a few things you could put your fingers on?
There's a lot, I think. Obviously, we didn't play up to expectations, so that's first and foremost. The way we come out on the ice and how we perform is the first thing that we need to address individually. I think we're all going to look ourselves in the mirror after today and reflect on the year and think of things that we can do to get better at what we need to do and our roles. And going into next year, I just think, there's a lot of things that are more for internal talks, but I have some things in mind, and hopefully we can all work together this summer to figure it out.
What was your reaction to the coaching change?
Yeah, it's tough. Obviously, in a place like New York, you know what our expectations are, and after a season like last year, to come in here and not perform the way we needed to in order to make another run, you always have worries, and coaches are often looked at and blamed, so it's tough. I love Lavy and Howie, so obviously another coaching change is always hard. So
why do you think your line, which came into the season intact and had the same responsibilities, why do you think that you weren't able to recreate what you had produced the season before?
That's a good question. I wish I had an answer. I think we would have fixed it a lot sooner if I did. I think part of it could be just expecting it. Like I said, you can't show up and just expect to recreate something without putting effort into it or putting work into it. Not that we weren't working at it every day. It was just, I feel like once you get to a certain point and you're not succeeding like you were the year before, it starts to weigh on you mentally. You start thinking you need to change everything, and sometimes it could just be a bounce here and there, and you've already changed your whole outlook on everything. And then we had a lot of line changes throughout the year. It came back to us a bunch. But at the end of the day, it's on us to look in the mirror, go back, look at film, see what we did wrong, see what we were doing great a couple of years ago, which we did a lot of this year. I mean, me and Laugh and Brett, we sat down and watched video from games last year and tried to figure out what the difference was. A lot of the time, there wasn't a difference, and the puck just wasn't going in the net. Sometimes I think that you get to a point where you're not succeeding like you were, and you start to try too much. And I think that's where it got to a certain point this year, maybe halfway through the year. We each individually started to try to take it upon ourselves, and we tried too much. And a lot of the time, it ended up going the opposite way.
I wonder, I know you're speaking specific to your line, but does that hold for the season as a team, too? You guys were 12-4-1 at one point, and then things started to go south, and you could not get it back, for a while there. Is that what you were just saying about your line and individually? Does that hold for the team?
Trying to do too much?
Yeah.
I think so.
Do too much, and then expectations will become expecting it to happen, and it doesn't happen. Yeah. Yeah,
it just starts to snowball on you, and it's the harder you try to get out of the quicksand, right? Shane Falco. Really tough. The harder you try to dig out.
Not expecting a replacement's
yeah, but it's true. I mean, the harder you try to dig yourself out of it, you sink further. And, we obviously, I remember when we started that little stretch of games where we were losing games. I think it was 2 games in, and we were like, holy, the sky's falling. It's the end of the world, and you try to change things, and you try to do too much, and then it just starts to snowball.
You had this belief last year that you guys were coming back in games. Was that just a part of the confidence slipping this year, or how did that belief go away?
Yeah, it's confidence, but it was showing. I mean, we were early in the year. We were coming back. We had 28 comeback leads last year from 2 goals down. And when you have that early in the year, and you are coming back in games, it gives you that sense that even if you go down in the game, you're going to come back. So yeah, we had a lot of confidence in it. And then this year, not coming back earlier in the year, it's kind of goes the other way. You don't have the confidence. You go down in a game and it weighs on you. You start to sink. But realistically, if we go into a mindset where you're going to focus on each and every shift, one shift at a time, and then regardless of score, you play in the same way, you're playing the right way, then that false sense of confidence or lack of confidence doesn't exist.
You mentioned on ice stuff aside, did it just feel like it was one thing after another this season, beginning in the off season with Truba and Gaudreau, and how much do you feel like that weighed on the locker room?
One thing after another. You just mean
just
like
outside stuff, headlines and outside conversations and players speaking out, the trades, just so much.
Yeah. There's always outside noise, right? Yeah. There's always trades that happen. I think it's on us inside this room in order to make sure that the outside noise doesn't get to us, whether that's talking to somebody individually or if it's just sticking together as a team and as a family. I think we can get better at that and lifting guys up instead of bringing guys down. I think that goes a long way whenever it comes to the outside stuff.
There was internal noise too, obviously. You mentioned it felt like early in that kind of losing stretch, it felt like the sky was falling. I think early in that stretch was when the memo came out naming players. Did that contribute to some of the pressure you were feeling?
Yeah, I'm sure, especially if you're one of the guys being named, then it's tough not to feel that, right?
Yeah.
And, but pressure is just, it's going to happen. Everybody has pressure on them. And we're the New York Rangers, and in a city like New York, we're going to have pressure every year. So it's on us to harness that pressure and use it for good.
Vincent, there's a lot of talent still in this locker room. What is your belief or optimism to be back where you want to be?
Yeah, I mean, we saw what we were capable of last year, and I think, like I said, we got a lot of time this summer to go back and look at what we can do better. And I really believe in this locker room. I believe in everybody. I obviously believe in the talent we have, and I just think it's a matter of us as a team sticking together and figuring out the right way to go about things moving into next year. And once we have that team belief, then it all starts to snowball in the positive direction.
Last one for Vince. We got Johnny and Carson over there.
You've stepped into more of a leadership role this season. Just how do you feel personally? Do you feel a little bit more pressure to help right the ship going forward?
I don't think, I wouldn't even look at it as pressure. I want to.
Responsibility.
Yeah, sure. But I want to be part of the reason that we do right the ship. And we talk about it all the time. We don't have very many opportunities to win a Stanley Cup, and that's the whole reason everybody in this locker room plays the game. So I'm looking forward to having this summer to figure things out. And like I said, I have a lot of things in mind that we can work on and get better at. And, I do take responsibility for a lot of it, but I don't find it to be an added pressure, I guess.
Thanks, Vince.
All right.